Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Fat Loss Basics. Another day. My voice is better. It's getting better every day. And it's getting better very quickly, which I'm very thankful for, because I'm going to tell you this. Last time, I was out for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something insane like that. So, alrighty, as of this moment, when I'm recording this, I'm hoping it won't be the case, but as of when I'm recording this, I have 26 spots left open for classes in session. Go fucking team. All right. And if you didn't know, Classes in Session is a 30-day challenge I am hosting inside of my app, where you'll have app access to me, to workouts. And what we are doing is not allowing one cheat meal, bad day, blown it, hit the fuck it button, become the week, the month, the year. So we are going to talk today a little bit about why our expectations are a little, in my opinion, I was not much different than you, a little bit overkill. And what I mean by that is, we have this thing, it's like, well, I'm showing up, I'm working hard, I'm doing the things. Like, why is this not equaling that? Why am I not getting the actual result? And when it comes to our health in general, okay, I want to be very clear that it does not owe you anything. I always say this about the scale, but really I'm just going to tell you this. Our health is only a synopsis shot of our decisions and choices that we have made year over year over year over year. And the unfortunate reality is, it doesn't owe us anything. It's only going to give us what we have done or not done. And that is the reality. And I always go back to this one time. I was having a conversation when we lived in Portugal with another woman, and she was like, it doesn't matter what you track in your food log. If you eat more than you track, then your body is a journal, and it doesn't matter what you do. And the same as the gym, the same as all the things. So the unfortunate part is, it's not like a relationship. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's really a relationship with yourself. You can't have this outside relationship with health and fitness. It's a relationship with you. So it doesn't have its own memory. There's no soft spot. There's no exceptions. Like, you are not an anomaly. Like, you are not special. That is the reality of this. And it doesn't understand. It doesn't know your health, your outcomes. It doesn't know that you have cried in your car after a bad day, after you get on the scale and you get in your car and you're getting on your way to work and you're ready to cry because you just are so tired, right? It doesn't know that you have said, this is the year. Every year since fucking January of 2014. Okay. It doesn't know how badly you've wanted this more than anything else in your life. Yeah. You finally got your job that you've always wanted, and maybe you've married your husband that you've always wanted, and have the kids you've always wanted, and you have this life that you've always wanted, except your health. And it's been the one thing that you've never been able to grab a hold on to. It's always had you by the fucking throat. It's always had you, right? It doesn't understand that you stare in the mirror, that you speak badly to yourself, that you make these big promises, you buy new leggings, you download the fucking apps again and again and again. And you get that whole feeling of, it's different this time though. It's different. I know it's going to be different. I know it's going to be different energy. I just know it is. And then it all goes away within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks. Lives. It gets in the way. It gets busy. You get hit by the Mack truck like that hit me last week. And now all of a sudden, your energy and your effort into the things don't equal the size of that commitment that you thought you were going to make. Okay. And your health and your fitness was never built to respond to an emotional commitment. I'm in it. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. It only responds to what you actually put into it, what action happens. So you can want something with your whole ass chest, and you can want something more than life itself and still get a mediocre result. I call this level 2 effort with a level 10 result. Okay. You could feel completely, indifferent, if you will, on any given day and still get a result. Like you can feel something a little less with your whole chest. You can feel something a little not with your like wanting it your whole life and actually get the results you want. Like sometimes people are like, well, I just don't know how she does it, or she's not as dedicated as I am, and how is it working for her? Right. And that's because the body actually grades what action is being taken. And it might not look like she's doing a whole lot. It might look like you're doing a lot more, but really maybe she's a lot more consistent. Maybe she doesn't fall off after a week. Maybe she doesn't restart every fucking Monday. And so while her effort might look a little less than yours, it's actually more consistent than yours. Okay. And so we have to understand that the body will react and respond based off of what is actually taking place, not based off of what we feel like we're doing. And so I want you to I want you to hear these 4 things that actually run the show behind the scenes, like not in our conscious, but in the subconscious. And this is regardless if you recall it, you don't recall it, you understand it, right? Because I'm going to tell you right now that this is not about motivation. This is not about discipline. This is not about wanting it enough. This is about understanding what the actual mechanism is that you have constantly been losing to year after year, month after month, day after day, week after week, whatever that may be for you at this time. So the very first thing that we're going to hammer out here is but I really want it. I just really want to get healthy. I just really want to feel better. I want to feel more confident. I want to feel better in my skin. I want to not cry in the mirror every time my clothes don't fit. I want to not have to, shimmy away from my husband or make excuses as why I can't be intimate with him. Yes, that's something I used to do. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this belief of I just want it bad, if it was enough, it would fucking work for you. If it was enough in the last 2.5, now almost 3 years, it would have worked for me. Wanting it isn't the reality of getting it. And every single time that you start and stop, this gets under the file of like, hey, you just don't have enough willpower, or you're just, you just need to be more disciplined. You just need to move your body more and eat less, instead of you're actually missing a structure and a system, right? Because plenty of women want this. Plenty of women are desperate for this. I have talked to women who have literally told me that they are afraid to die and leave their children with no mother. I'm not kidding, right? We've cried about it. We've prayed about it. We've journaled about it. We have sought help, some of us even for it, and it still doesn't happen. We still don't get the results because wanting it is not enough. And the body doesn't respond to just wanting something. Another part of wanting something is just motivation. It's just a feeling. This is not a thing that's real. It's not something you can reach out and grab, right? And it's not designed to last a very long time. So we have to understand that we're not always motivated. And because we're not always motivated and results come from consistent, repeatable actions, if you only do things when you're motivated to do it, well, it's not going to happen very consistent and repeatable. Or it's not going to be consistent and repeatable. It's not going to be repetitive to get the result, right? And so the women who succeed the best in this situation are not the ones who are like, I need this. I want this so bad. I want this. I know that I can do this. I want this so bad. They're the ones who keep doing the boring shit over and over. And I will have to admit to myself who I am right now and who I showed up as 10 years ago when I, started this last, when I restarted for the last time. That's what I'm trying to say. I am not the same person. The commitment level is not the same. It's not about me. I want it probably more now than I did then because I know what it's like to be on the other side of this. But I'm going to tell you right now, wanting it for me, man, if that was all I needed to do, I would have been already done. This would be null and void because I've already wanted it so bad. Okay. The second thing here is kind of what I just touched on briefly, the repetitive, I call it the granny panties, the boring, the repetitive, the consistent things that we are doing, right? constantly focusing on our protein, sleeping on a consistent sleep schedule, getting in our steps when we should, showing up to this, like, even if we're not so excited and engaged and energized, it's like, okay, I can still do something because something is going to be better than nothing. Or I don't really feel like going to the gym or feel like drinking my water or feel like doing the things, but I do it anyway, right? And on top of just being able to accomplish the task that we kind of don't really fucking care to do, we don't have to have this big dramatic moment about the task. It's like, okay, I'm just going to hit my protein target. Okay, just do it. Or I didn't hit it today. Okay, I'm just going to try again tomorrow. Like, we don't have to like make this big deal about everything, right? It's just a quietness in it. It just compounds itself over time, very quietly, not, very loudly. Nothing in this boringness here is loud and in your face, right? And so the all-in Monday reset, the aggressive, I'm up at 3 a.m. so I can get in all my steps by 7, right? The I'm never eating sugar again, the all or nothing, the in and out, this extreme, if you will, of all the things, the working out, all of it. It rarely survives past a week because it's not repetitive. It is not repeatable. It is not, you cannot be consistent with it. You cannot do it long-term. Right? And so the consistency of these little things that we're doing is going to beat the extremeness of all the sporadic shit that we constantly think that we're putting a lot of effort in because, man, is it a lot, right? Constricting your calories to like 1,000 a day, getting in 1,000 million steps, drinking 1,000 million gallons of water, sleeping for 12 hours a day because if you don't sleep well, you don't lose weight, all these things. And that's not just most of the time. That's pretty much every fucking time. Because every time you've done something extreme, please reach out and tell me if I'm wrong. It didn't stick. If it didn't stick, it didn't work properly. Something still was a little bit not correct. Okay. And so the workout that you do, or the sort of tracking your food, or the at least hitting your protein, or the getting 7,000 steps when you got an extra walk in versus the 5,000, or the extra little things that you're doing here will beat that perfectionist, that all or nothing mentality every single time, every time. The third thing that we're talking about here is doing nothing's still a fucking option. Like, it is a choice that you can have. Right? We wait to feel ready. We wait for motivation. We wait for the right time. We wait when life slows down. We wait when life picks up. We like all this functioning that we're doing is just waiting. Oh, I'm waiting. And you want to know what? That makes us feel. It makes us feel like we're doing something. We're doing nothing. We're just getting ready. We're prepared. We're getting excited. We're almost there. And then nothing. Right? So it is a decision. It is an outcome of many decisions, okay? Staying exactly where you're at and doing nothing about it is fucking a choice. Sorry. Well, I don't like to work out at the gym. Okay, I didn't like to either. But doing nothing also was an option, and well, I was fucking tired of doing that. I don't like to eat the same meals on repeat. Well, sometimes that's how we learn best about what we need to do for our macros. So sometimes I don't always like it, but I could also just then eat willy-nilly and eat like an asshole, and then boom, nothing changes, and then I get mad, right? So doing nothing is the only entire, the only path on this entire journey of all the things that we're going to talk about today that guarantees that you never get to where you want to go. It is the only path you can take to get anywhere, to get nowhere, is doing nothing. And the majority of you, that's where you stay. Or like I said, you wait and you anticipate all this, and then you do it again, and then it just falls short. You're just doing a lot of fucking waiting, and that feels like you're doing something, but you're actually doing nothing. You're doing nothing. And it is a fucking decision that you're making, right? And then the last thing we're going to talk here briefly on is separating the emotional from the mechanical. So what I mean about this, Your relationship with your body, it's emotional, it's real, it's complicated. You have spent years creating this emotional attachment to how you look, to how you feel, to how you move, all of those things, okay? However, the system that produces a physical change is not emotional. It is mechanical. It is input. It is output. There are no feelings. It is very math driven. It is very math driven. And I say that as a person who always excelled in things like writing and expression and all those things. And I tanked in mathematical equations. I wonder why I was never great at learning about these things, right? I was very expressive. I was very musical. And while there is some music in math, there are very specific rules, just like there are in your health and fitness. But they were very minimal compared to all of these other variables that we have when it comes to the mechanical side. Because mechanical isn't just inputs and outputs of calories and movement. It's also inputs and outputs of hormone level, of stress, of digestion, of sleep. Like there are so many more mechanical outputs. It can be very difficult to maneuver through, right? And so you have to find this compatibility between working through a hard day, an emotional experience, and being able to understand the data that all those things are coming in. So a missed workout, not eating on your scheduled plan, having a rough week, none of that is necessarily coherently bad about you. It's just data information that we can understand. Well, this could be why XYZ did not happen this week. This could be why I did not get XYZ result this week. Okay? So one thing that we have to do is understand that once we change and we treat this as a system or a process instead of your value and your worth, the hard days stop having all the power. The hard emotional moments stop giving you the reason not to do the things because the system and the emotions are not the same. Okay, I have a client maneuvering through an extremely difficult, hard, emotional thing that was not expected with her family. Very hard, very emotional, very unexpected. There were certain things that we removed, if you will, off the system. One of the things for her is always going to be food, tracking her food. That is always going to be the hardest thing for her to do. So that's the first thing we did, eliminated that part of the system. But other things that we were focusing on the system was still making sure we're eating protein, still making sure that we're fucking eating, number one, okay? Trying to make sure that she can rest when necessary because her life shifted so much and so big at so one time that she became the caretaker for a multitude of families, not one family, not just her children, but she was taking care of a multitude of families. Okay. So her well-being at that point became what we had to focus and change the system to. Here's a part of the problem. When something big and emotional and things shift your life, you don't shift the system. You shift to, I just can't. It's too much. It's too hard. And this is where you will always find yourself stuck in a cycle, is because instead of just shifting what the system looks like for you in the moment, and then you can easily shift the system back to what it was, you go the other opposite direction and allow every single big, bad thing take you out. That is an emotional regulation problem. It is. The last 2 years, 3 years, however many this is at this point, I have had an emotional regulation problem. Okay. It has taken a long time for me to be able to admit that there were things happening in my life that I had no control over and I hated it. And there was nothing that I could do about it. I'm a fucking control freak. Even today, I was talking about this with a client. She's an in-person client. We were talking about this and we were talking about riding roller coasters. I said how I hate roller coasters. And she's like, But you literally went on them, screamed, and then rode them again and again, and you hate them. I said, yes. I said, because for me, it's building my capacity. One, because I'm a control freak and I have no control on a roller coaster. Let me tell you that right now, okay? Once you're buckled in and strapped, you're in. You're done, okay? Two, this is like the one time of year I can literally get on something or whatever you want to call it and have an emotional reaction and response and just let it all the fuck out and just scream my ass off. So for me, I actually use something that I don't like because I don't have control, because I don't like heights, as a tool to release pent up energy, aggression in my body and move it out So yes, once we stop treating things as an emotional thing and we start treating things as they are two separate entities, we get a lot further. Things are still, and don't get me wrong, it's not being like, you're so emotional. No, things can still be emotional and things can still happen. We are allowed to live in duality. The problem is most of us don't know how to do that. Most of us don't know how to stick to a system and be emotional. We just don't know how to do that. We were not taught. Duality is something I think a lot of people cannot comprehend, honestly, where two things can be true at once. Okay. So here we go. Class is in session. 26 spots remain. This is not about asking you to want it more. This is not about saying you need to want this. You need more discipline. You need more willpower. This is about giving you the system in which you go from I fall off every weekend to that was not my best weekend, but that's okay. From I'm going to just hit the fuck it button because big things happen to me this week to big things happen to me this week and I can still do something. Well, how do I shift my system? What can I still focus on? Okay. These are small, repeatable, trackable inputs we are going through. So this process is not just something that we want. It's something that's visible. It's something that is tangible. It's something that you can literally see. So instead of wanting it, you can actually see it. Okay, that's why I do my accountability calendar. That's why I've been doing that. If you haven't gone and listened, I've done one, I think April, May, June, July, and I'll have one in August again. I'm going through it so I can see what is visible. What am I actually following through on? And what am I shitting the bed with? Where do I need to improve? Where am I doing well? It's data. I don't have to like the data, but it's what it is. So it is 30 days, $30, only 30 seats are available. And we are 26 are at this point are left. So this is a, not learning more rules. This is, you already know the rules. You already know what to do. This is not that. This is continuing to do what you already know to do. That's all this is. And I say that's all, but y'all, this is the thing that you don't have. This is the skill set you don't have yet. Okay. So I would love to have you in. Again, I have 26 spots left. Once they're gone, 26 spots, they're gone. I'm not adding a 31st spot. So don't come to me and be like, oh, but Sarah. No. Okay. We're not doing that. We're just not doing that. So, yeah. Alrighty. I will catch you on the next episode. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We actually start school this coming week. And I'm baffled. I have 2 seniors and a freshman, and this is just wild. And we are in the throes of a whole new chapter of our life again. So go team. This is the emotional part I was talking about, like the Mack truck last week and all things. Emotional versus mechanical. Got to separate my systems because Lord knows the emotions definitely want to take over. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week and weekend. I will catch you